Hello, I'm Gosia from Cosmic Agency. How are you all doing? This is going to be a short video update about certain things and details of our interaction with Swaruu of Erra from Taygeta Pleiades. I'm still not sure how to pronounce this correctly. It's not an easy word to say. First of all, I want to say hello, a big hello to Naughty Beaver. Hello, Naughty Beaver. I want to say hello because I know he has been doing quite a lot of mentioning of Swaruu's information in his channel. And a lot of people came over to my channel and subscribed, and now they're here. So I am very, very grateful because Swaruu's information need to be shared worldwide, and I would like for more people to be listening to this. So thank you very much, Naughty Beaver, for your work. I also recommend you to check out his channel. He has very interesting analysis and information also on similar topics. So thank you very much again, Naughty Beaver. Now, today I will mention just several things. First of all, I will mention a little detail about our interaction with them. Something. Then I'm going to mention what Swaruu shared with us about the eclipse. On the 2nd of July we had the eclipse. Was it anything special? What happened? What happens generally on the eclipses? Are they important? And then I'm going to mention generally the actual situation of Taygetans and the whole situation of the liberation of the Earth in the very general terms. And then at the end I want to go into the subject of those triangle ships, TR3B, because in one of the recent videos about the Argentina and Uruguay blackout, it was mentioned that those planes operate on jet fuel, and many people, well, some of you have spoken up and said that it's not true, that they operate on nuclear fusion or something like that. So I went to Swaruu and I clarified for you this issue, because Swaruu has so much technical information about, not just about metaphysics, biology, genes, spirituality, everything, but also about the planes. She is a pilot, actually. She is a sand clock pilot, an expert, and there are not many of those in Taygeta, which means she's actually a time traveler and a timeline manipulator. So she has a lot of information and technical details about that, and also about our planes, which is amazing. The knowledge surpasses me. So I'm going just to read you what she said, but that's at the end, okay? So let's just go back to the beginning. I want to say just a small little, like a personal detail about our interaction, and I know how this interaction takes place and what dynamics goes on behind it, because all you can see is the final product, the video that I make, but we are with them every day, and recently it's really every day for hours, and me and Robert together in the group session, and we don't only talk about the subjects for the videos, we talk about their personal lives, sometimes about our personal things, and there is a lot behind the creation of these videos, and a lot behind the interaction, and sometimes it's not as easy. It is, I take it back, it is extremely easy, much easier than I would ever imagine interacting with another race. I can't believe how well we get along normally, and how we get each other's jokes, the sense of humor with them is just almost the same. It's unbelievable. So normally there are no problems at all, and the interaction is quite harmonious. But sometimes these things come out that demonstrate that we are different, and we are a different race, and our perception of things is different. For example, this is going to be an example. Robert in his channel has talked about a solar system, and it's like a series of videos about each planet in the solar system and what goes on in those planets. It's fascinating. I am going to share with you a bit later on. It's crazy. It's just so mind-blowing, the information, what goes on there, and not on every planet, but on many of them, the level of life that is developed and what's happening. So we thought it was very interesting. It was Robert's subject because they never impose the subjects. They never impose anything. So they are always giving us the green light as to what subjects we want to go into. But this is when sometimes the problem comes up, like it did now. It wasn't actually a problem, but it was like a little perception difference. Because later on they told us, after Robert did the solar system series, that some of the Taygetans, some of their crew, have expressed that this topic is a kind of an empty content, and there's so much more to be shared and so much more important stuff can be shared. And we were a bit maybe not shocked but puzzled why they thought that this was in a little bit like empty content, because for us it was so loaded with new, precise and information. So this is what the difference of perception comes in, because for them what goes on other planets is everyday stuff. It's very normal. It's even boring. For them, talking about what goes on other planets is like if I was asked what happens in Madrid and I was supposed to explain, okay, so there's a street and there in the center there's a bakery shop. It's like, for us it's a daily stuff, so it's nothing interesting. So for them it seemed like it was not so relevant, because from their perception it's a everyday, day-to-life existence, and we had to explain that no, but for us, from our perspective, it's very new, it's very exciting, it's very important. And why it is important? Because once we ascend and we go into the interplanetary, interstellar status, we need to know what's there. We need to know what to expect. We need to know where we are going to and what goes on in the solar system, because this is going to be the first thing we will see, once we are out there. So it is quite important to know what's happening there. And they were insisting, that we should get the most out of Swaruu, because she is a very important character, even for the human history. And she's a very important figure here, and a key player on many levels. And she has so much knowledge and information and wisdom, and that we should get to that we should basically step it up and get more out of her, get more advanced type of information. And we were a bit puzzled too, because we were like, okay, but we don't know what she knows. Right? So we don't know what topics to ask, because we don't know what kind of things exist there in 5D that we could go into. And we compared it to, okay, imagine that that we, right, are going to the Amazon. So imagine that we are going to the Amazon tribe, and they don't know anything about the internet, electricity, and we tell them, okay, Amazon tribe, ask us anything you want. We are here to give you all the information, just ask. So what will the Amazon tribe ask? They will ask what's important and relevant from their perspective, from their platform, from their angle of their view. So they will ask about the irrigation systems. They will ask how to plant mushrooms in a better way with less water and things like that. They will not ask about how to improve the bandwidth of the internet, because they don't have internet, so they don't even know about the existence of the internet. So how can they ask that? So we were explaining to them that sometimes it may seem we are asking like basic stuff, like a solar system. For us it's not basic, because we are looking at it from our perspective, not theirs. And if they want to give more advanced information, then they should give us the suggestions of topics, because we don't know what they know. So if you are watching, by the way, although I know Swaruu is not watching for sure, but maybe some of them on the crew is watching, you are very welcome to give us topics and share anything you want to share. I'm encouraging that. I'm waiting here at home with the open arms. You know that. So just come and share anything you want to share. I'm available. So that's that. It's just one of the differences that sometimes we have, in our interactions, because they are different rays. Okay, now the time of the subject of the eclipse was also mentioned, and the eclipse happened on the 2nd of July. And well, we asked what could happen on that day. Does anything happen? on eclipse days? Is it special in any way? And this is what she said. There will be UFO sightings directly proportional to the percentage of eclipse severity of each place. The darker place, the more UFOs there will be. That's the rule, but I'm not predicting anything, it's just that way usually. Eclipses happen with mathematical regularity. The truth about them is actually not so esoteric beyond what others pin on it or make you see with their own interpretations. Yes, it is true that the energies and frequencies move, making the matrix weaker in some places or stronger in others. Apart from that, nothing new, it's just another eclipse. It has no meaning other than the one that New Age gives you. But yes, they can move frequencies, opening some portals that are under that influence. But mostly nothing strange happens that day. However, it is good to meditate, for example, at this time. It is said that Buddha found enlightenment during an eclipse, and not only Buddha, other spiritual masters have also found enlightenment during an eclipse. So that's the information for you for the next eclipse. If you see the next eclipse, but it has to be the one that is like affecting your area, then go and meditate, and maybe you'll reach enlightenment. Okay, now a very short update about where they are and what's happening. Well, actually, I think I haven't told you yet, but right now they are even in a lower Earth or orbit than before. Before they were quite far, and they could see the Earth as a size of the orange, like with extended arm. Okay, that was what they saw. Well, right now, and I'm not going to go into details, it's not so relevant, but the rest of their ships actually have gone for the moment, and they have one big ship is left and in the orbit, and this is where Swaruu and the rest of the crew are. And right now they are only at 470 kilometers, more or less. And we were making jokes about that, hey, we can make this in a car, you know, this is nothing, 470 kilometers. And Swaruu says, yes, of course, but going up. And it is possible even to see them if because they are moving around, they are always changing the location. And you know, they are right there, and they can see, they were telling us they can see the waves, the sea waves, they can see the ships. It's much more interesting, I mean the boats, the ships on the sea. And it's much more interesting for them now because they can see actually what's happening from a closer perspective, what's happening on Earth. Before they were more in dark space and always the same, but now they can actually see us. They can see they can see what's happening from such a short distance, and you can see it as a glowing, bright star-looking object moving around, moving like a size of Venus probably in the sky. So very interesting. They are actually in 3D itself right now. They are below the Van Allen belts. It's just that their ships is maintained artificially in a 5D frequency, but they are here. They are very, 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 very close. They're here. It's crazy. Now the control of the operations of the Federation for the liberation of the Earth is with Alpha Centauri. The Alpha Centauri are in charge of the control of the operations. The Alpha Centauri are also called Alphratians. So they move everything, they control everything, and they use the Federation as a council and as a backup. Also, Antarians are helping them directly. Cabal is very much, they are in their subterranean bases a lot, and they are fighting. They are still fighting, and they are even fighting with each other. There are a lot of factions within the factions. They also control Agartha, the inner Earth civilization. I will make a video about that too, about Agartha. They control Agartha except the capital. So all these operations now are in the hands of Alpha Centauri. And I will make a video about Alpha Centauri too, because soon I will make a series about the extraterrestrial races, and each of them will be explained separately. So the Alpha Centauri are reinforcing the boycott of the blockage of the exits and entries to the Earth. They persecute enemy ships. They arrest the people and reptiles that are within a certain list. I'm just translating that from Spanish, by the way, so I'm taking more time. And they are realizing a lot of operation of special force or special tasks, special force operations on Earth. They have been doing a lot of even dangerous things. So apart from that, apart from all these operations, which they have been doing invisibly behind humans' back, they stress that the liberation must come from within the humans. We have to achieve it exclusively with our own efforts from within. And Centauri and Federation are also moving away and removing the non-human element, what goes against the regulation and spatial agreements. But as they say, one of the reasons why the liberation must come from within is because if it's not done, if it's not inspired, and if it's not a result of our own inner change, then the liberation and the change will not be permanent. If it's just exposed as something from the outside, it's not going to stick. It's going to go back to its previous or even worse state, or it's going to be distorted like it was many times in the past. They have seen this many times in the past. They have tried different methods, and now they have reached conclusion that it has to come from the humans themselves. They are doing what they can, doing these all kinds of operations which I just explained, and many more. But the drive and the engine of the change must be us, must come from us. So that's what I'm trying to do with this information, to empower people from within, to influence human consciousness, so the change can come from yourself, from your own inner strength and your own DNA of who you are. So that's that. Now, a few people asked me about the sun and if it's a simulator. So let me just answer very, very, very fast. No, it's not a simulator, according to Swaruu. She's saying it's part of the universe. If looking this way, it's a part of the universe as a holographic natural simulation. In this way, everything is, if we are looking from that perspective. So it's a part of a holographic natural simulation. We talked about the original Matrix video. Other than that, and from our perspective, it is real. The sun is an exit and opening to countless places. It is a transit system, or can be used as one. And this I'll also explain in one of the videos in the future about the sun as a portal, about black holes. I will go into black holes, and it will be explained also why it is connected. The sun, black holes, transit, place, exit, opening, portals, all that, very interesting. So that's that. And now let me get into this TR3B issue. Swaruu mentioned that they use the jet fuel, and many of you have expressed that from your knowledge they don't, that they use nuclear fusion. So this is Swaruu's response. Okay, I'm going to play it for you now. This is her response in a short conversation that we had about it.
The TR3B is a group of aircraft called Advanced, TR from trainer officially, and it is considered experimental. In itself, the designation TR is compressed as in T for trainer, as in T38 or in T6 Texan 2. The R comes from restricted access program that comes from the black budget of the Pentagon. Next to the cabins, or just below them, there are letters in white with the black background, experimental. 3 is the model and the letter B is the sub-model. Motor. The triangle ships, from which many people erroneously think that letters TR come from, have several systems or variants precisely because they are experimental. Some use a small reactor, ionizing nuclear reactor. This motor supplies the power to a series of generators that feed the magnetic motors. These magnetic motors are those that distort gravity at will and are usually three, one at each corner, and are semi-spherical. They rotate inside, creating an energetic electromagnetic vortex that, by modifying the output frequency to counteract the Earth's gravitational flow frequency, neutralizes it. They move to project the flow of their electromagnetism toward the corresponding direction. You can see the last JLC video that talks about Bob Lazar's UFOs. That system described by JLC is ancient and should be in a museum. We do not use that. Nor do they take the material or fuel from the center of the sun, as Lazar says, annum pentium, because the suns have no center. So, returning to the Lockheed TR3A-B-C and the Lockheed TR4A-B-C, a reactor supplies the power to move generating turbines that in turn feed magnetic motors. But that reactor is very expensive in dollars. And it is dangerous too, because if it failed, it would contaminate a huge area. As if they cared about that. So TR3 and TR4 work well with a jet engine type F117PW100 Pratt & Whitney that is almost identical to the commercial PW2000. The jet engine F117PW100 works with jet fuel of JP7 to JP9 type for fuel designations for military use aircraft. This PW jet engine makes the electric power generating turbines operate that in turn supply it to the magnetic motors that move the ship. And it is not invisible to infrared because it burns chemical fuel. It's a super fast plane by human standards, but it still needs to breathe air. Its nuclear variant doesn't need it anymore. They use the same jet engine as the F117 Stealth, exactly. This technology is human, reverse engineering, or reptile? It is built by Lockheed Martin like the F117 and the SR-71 of the famous brand Skunkworks of Clarence Kelly Johnson. The technology is Cabal, applying reverse technology of multiple races because they have knocked down or have caught many UFOs. How many crew does it have, and can it cross the Van Allen belts? TR3A, 1 pilot. TR3B, 2. It cannot leave the atmosphere and has a ceiling of 90,000 feet maximum. A MiG-29 would do the same. It has plexiglass cabin at the front, as an F-15 would have.
So that's it. This is about a response. If you have more questions, you can put them in the comment section below. However, I really am sorry because I don't have time to respond to everybody or to forward questions to Swaruu. This is coming from both Spanish and English channels every day in hundreds. So I really can't do that, but I do what I can, sometimes responding like in this case, if I see that there are a lot of repeated questions, that of course I will try to address that. So thank you very much for watching the next video. Yes, the next video will be the questions to the genetics video, to this important genetics video which I did. It's going to be like a genetics 2 with our questions and answers around this topic of genetics. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.